Hey everybody, I'm going to be doing a little bit of work on my garden tank here today, at least I hope to be, and I want to shoot a little bit of video, document what I've done so far before I make any more changes. I often get people that comment that they say they appreciate the fact that I always show the good, the bad, and the ugly here in my fish room, and today we are definitely going to see some ugly. So what I've been working on, as I've been talking about for a while now, is this giant sort of waterfall contraption. I know it's kind of hard to make out what you're looking at there, but we'll get to it in a little more detail in a moment. So I've been working on it and racking my brain, and I've gotten to the point where I can't keep building onto it. I've got to start over. I've got to strip it down and just bite the bullet and get rid of it. So let's have a look at what we're looking at. I'm going to actually turn the overhead light on, and it'll probably give us a little bit better understanding of what we're looking at here. So this is basically going to be a waterfall, and right now it's made out of expandable foam. So as you can kind of sort of start to make out the details a little bit, we're going to have the water flowing in to the bucket up here, and in some fashion or another it's going to flow out and into this basin. It may splash over this side a little, I don't know, and then it's going to run down this channel, flow down, splash into this basin, flow back down this way, splash into the large basin down here, and then flow into the tank. And it works well enough. You can see I've just got it made out of a PVC frame and chicken wire, and I think this is now 9 or 10 cans of the expandable foam. And that's where I'm starting to run into issues. For one, I just have to either throw all that away. I mean, I had to pay for all those cans of foam. They're $4 or $5 a piece, and now I just have to sort of tear this all apart and throw it away, or keep adding to it. And that black stuff you see is the stuff you see sold on TV, the Flex Seal. It's actually pretty good stuff when used correctly. I'm not going to knock that at all. I wish I'd done it right. It gives you a nice good rubber coating. I've got one can of the spray, and then I also bought a can that you brush on, like, you know, it's basically just rubber paint. And it really is a good, flexible, waterproof rubber. My problem is that I used this spray foam, and you can see I just sprayed it out of the can, and as much as that might look like it's all together, that's like a sieve. Water just runs through this. There's no holding that water in there at all, and that's why I desperately started trying to coat it with that rubber. And of course, see if we can zoom in a little here and still have you make it out. You can see all the white marks and the light coloration and everything. There's just no way the rubber gets into all those little nooks and crannies. And after trying and trying and trying, when I turn the pump on, which we're not going to do now, but when I turn the pump on, the water just starts running into here. It never even makes it to this first waterfall. It's just running through this first channel, and then it runs through everything it lands on the bottom, and then it runs right down the back and all over the floor and table and everything. So I'm basically trying to hold water in a sieve. So there's a couple things I can do. I can sort of strip it down, rebuild the frame, and then coat the frame in some sort of plastic liner, and then no matter what I put over it, if it leaks through it, it'll always hit that plastic liner in the back. I've also thought about using like fiberglass, you know, that you would use to fix a boat or a fender on a car or something like that. I can just use epoxy resin and pieces of fiberglass, and I can make a fiberglass frame and then, you know, dress it up a little and paint it. I don't know. I've got some different ideas, and one of the things I did today was I got it's like a nozzle. Actually, let me put you on pause here for half a second. Okay, so it's a nozzle that is designed to give you a broad bead with your, this end goes onto the dispenser, and then this end is where you would apply it. You'd basically paint this 3-inch wide or 2.5-inch wide line of foam, and then you could paint another line of foam, and you can actually use this to create broad areas and flat surfaces. So I'll actually put a link down below if anybody's interested in these. For construction purposes, I've had a lot of luck in the past using the foam. You can sort of mold it and shape it and paint with it into your rough shape, and then you can cut it and carve it and do whatever you want when you're done, and then you can paint it, and you know, it's really good versatile stuff. I've just never tried to do it in a water bearing environment before. I've never tried to make something that would hold water, and so far it's been wildly unsuccessful. So I know there's other videos out there and there's other websites of people that do this kind of stuff, and I could just go look at one of them and find out how to do it and all that, but that takes all the fun out of it for me. I like to do things my own way and have my own fun and experiment, and you know, that's the whole point in this hobby. Maybe getting some ideas from other places and stuff like that is one thing, but just doing it the way someone else has done it and copying them, to me, isn't a whole lot of fun. So I'm going to keep on messing with it and tinkering with it, and we'll see what happens. And on a final note, while I got you here on this video, I will say that my little lemon tree here is in trouble. I don't know if we're going to be able to see it or not, but if you can just make out the little tiny bit of webbing through here, and there's little tiny specks in there, I've got mites growing on my lemon tree, and that's not good. So not only will they damage the lemon tree, but they can certainly spread to all the other plants that are here and that are going to be here in the very near future. So I need to treat for that. That's as simple as making up some soapy dishwater, putting it in a spray bottle, and just spraying it with soapy water, letting it dry. Do that for 2 or 3 days, and any mites that are on there will be dead. So the water evaporates and leaves the soap behind, and the soap coats the mites and prevents oxygen from getting into their pores, and it suffocates them. And so as long as you spray it thoroughly enough and you cover all the mites with the soapy water, you're good to go. You'll kill them, and it's completely harmless. It's inert. I obviously won't be doing it right here in this environment. I'll take it in the other room and do it. You don't want to get soapy water in your aquarium. But if you do have plants that have mites on them, you can just spray them with some soapy water, and you're good to go. Well, on a final note, I will say I've already started bringing some plants in. I've got this really nice one here. I don't know what it is, but it looks like it's in the philodendron family. It's been growing like crazy, and I'm really hoping that this can be somewhere, you know, up on the top end of the waterfall area, hanging down eventually. And then, of course, as I was saying, it's the time of year when it's time to start bringing the plants in and that sort of thing. I've made some more cuttings from a few things out in the yard, so maybe we'll be able to get them growing, and hopefully it's time to get started making this garden area happen, and we'll have a little waterfall and little pond slash fish tank, whatever you want to call it, there in the back with water running into it. So make sure you're subscribed, and you won't miss any of that or anything else I got coming up. Don't forget, this is my garden tank area. Thanks again for watching this one, and I hope to see you real soon on the next one.